This is Geneva Style. Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I wanted to give a very brief review of the season 2 of the Game of Thrones series. I have to say the season was quite interesting because it was good, but also very chaotic. I wouldn't say that it was better than season 1. Season 1 is still my favorite so far. It's just 2 seasons I've watched. So I I know it's not a hard choice. Season 1 was brilliant. However, because there's so many characters in season 2, everyone is kind of separated, and it's kind of hard to tell a story of so many characters and different storylines when each of them kind of like is on a different set or in a different context. So it's quite a challenge for any series, but I have to say, whoever directed that, season 2, I'm sure there was different directors for each episode, but I have to say they were brilliant. They were really good. They did the best they could, but at the end of the day, season 1 was still my favorite. So I would say that the highlights of this season was definitely Arya. I think she was my favorite of the entire season. I think she was the highlight. I think her story intertwined with Tywin was great. Their short-lived kind of relationship was interesting. Their dynamic was absolutely enchanting in a way. I'm not a fan of Tywin that much, but I have to absolutely admire his brilliance. He's amazing. He's a great actor, of course. I don't like the Lannisters that much, but I do recognize their valor and their experience, their genius. I do have to recognize that. I think Arya and Tywin were great. Like I said, the relationship was the highlight for me in season 2. Tyrion was great as well. He's really living up to it. The Lannister name is indeed a genius, a political genius. He was great as a king's hand, and I didn't like the fact that he was thrown basically under. He was thrown into that shithole after the battle of the Blackwater battle. That's how it's called. I felt that it was very unfair, but it was expected since most of the Lannister family members do hate him. And they do see him as a threat because it is actually smarter than most of them. I would say that besides that, so the Blackwater episode, Arya's relationship with Tywin, Tyrion, I don't see any other major highlight for this season. I was impressed by the Hound. I think we learned a little bit more about him, and I thought the dynamic with Sansa was quite interesting. But there was very little of it. It was a glimpses here and there. I cannot really. It's a good mention, but it's not necessarily a highlight just because it was not as frequent as, for example, Arya's relationship with Tywin was pretty intense, and it was definitely interesting because she was kind of figure out a way of, okay, do I have to kill this guy or not? Because I really think that he should die to save my brother, and in the end she didn't make it. He's alive. She didn't get him killed, but it's kind of interesting to see that conflict because she's engaging with him and she's learning about him and from him, but at the same time she wants him killed. So like I said, that was brilliant. I will say Jon Snow was not one of the highlights because unfortunately we saw very little of him. The relationship with the redhead Ygritte was amazing. It's kind of interesting because it started as like a very unequal dynamic because you can see that she was the prisoner, and at the end of the season you will see that he's actually her prisoner, but not just in body but also in spirit. So body, mind, spirit, everything, like he is her prisoner. So definitely that's very interesting. I'm sure it will play out very well in the future season. It would, and I really hope it's going to turn into a love story. And I actually found out that the two actors are in a romantic relation, like they're married. A romantic relationship was saying, so they're actually married in real life. I had to find out because they had such a great chemistry that I wanted to find out a little bit about Jon Snow, like Kit Harington, that's the actor's name. And I did find out they got married, so I was like, oh my god, it makes sense. They have such a great chemistry. Anyway, so I wished he were the highlight this season, but he's not. So he wasn't, which is unfortunate because he has so much potential. Jon Snow has the greatest potential of all the characters so far, I think, besides Sansa, Arya, Jon Snow, those three. Now, Robb Stark was not the highlight for me. I know for many it might have seemed so, just because he did win some battles and he does have mastery in leadership and in military, military strategies. So is very good. However, I do feel that after he met Talisa, it's like his downfall is start to happen this season. I do feel that he has made some mistakes. Even marrying her was a mistake in my opinion. But of course, we'll see what happens. Maybe he's going to reveal himself victorious. He's going to find a way to deviate from the deal that he made with that man. Oh my god, I have to learn his name, by the way. It would be time to learn his name. Let me look it up. I got it, guys. House Frey. House Frey. I have to try to remember this name, House, because I always said this horrible man. And the poor actor, he's not horrible, okay, but he's horrible in the show. But anyway, House Frey. So the leader, the patriarch of the House Frey. Okay, let's talk about the downs, like the what I really disliked the most. And I'm feeling so bad about this, but I do have to state all the storyline of anything involving Karth, with Daenerys. For God's sake, she was stuck there for the entire season. She didn't move. And oh my gosh, I hated that because she's meant for more. I like it for more. Like, I think she has so much potential. She was stuck there the entire season. For the entire 10 episodes, she was there. And there was nothing really pleasant about that place, honestly. And it didn't make any sense. Yes, she got what she wanted in the end, which is more resources. But really, oh my gosh, she was stuck there. There was no movement. And so I didn't like her storyline this season. I really didn't. I liked her. She's always great. And there is growth in her character. So her character does move, like, is developing. The problem is their context, where she's at, it just doesn't move, doesn't change. It's very static. I hate when things are static, in any regard, whenever we talk about environments, whenever we talk about characters, it doesn't matter, they're just static, and I didn't like that. Theon, forget about Theon. Oh my god, I honestly, I did hear some comments that were a little bit criticizing me cutting off Theon a lot. The most recent videos, I will say, of season 2 reflect my perception of this season compared to season 1. Some are actually shorter than season 1, and honestly, I cut off. Besides, forget about the copyright claims. It's always a problem for me. I don't like having copyright strikes or claims and everything. And not many YouTubers don't care. That's why they are able to put up many scenes for entire episode, because they get claims that they don't care. I do care, so I don't like to have that on my channel. So I try to avoid them as much as possible. But also, one other factor is that some of the scenes I didn't like, some of the scenes that maybe people like, I personally didn't like them, or my reactions were kind of blunt, like boring, so I don't feel like including them. And also season 2 for me was a little bit miss when it comes to Theon. I mean, the fact that he invaded Winterfell, like I don't like him as a character. So when I don't like characters, no matter if they're evil or good, I don't make distinctions. If I like a character, it can be evil or good, it doesn't matter. I like the character. I will include as much of that character as possible. But when it comes to characters that I dislike personally, or I nourish some antipathy, in a way, I don't have the encouragement to include them in my videos. I'll try my best to improve that, but you have to understand my way of making these videos reflects my views on season 2. You can tell that season 2 was not as good as season 1 for me. Like, I was not, you can tell the lack of enthusiasm in season 2 compared to season 1 in certain episodes. I'm not talking about the entire season, I'm talking about some episodes. So you have to understand that I'm very authentic, I'm very honest. So anytime some episode looks shorter or anything, I'm not including as much scenes, it's because really the scenes I include are really the ones I like the most, and the ones that I left off, probably they didn't impress me as much. They might be impressive for other people, for you guys, but for me they weren't. And of course, I cannot predict what people like to see. I don't watch other reactions. I mean, I do watch reactions and reviews specifically, but I don't watch Game of Thrones reactions because I don't want to get spoiled. Some people, the way I do make predictions, the way I kind of discuss the future or my expectations based on what I see, maybe other people are doing the same. And I don't want to risk to getting spoiled by other people's predictions, or maybe they saw some parts of it and stuff like that. So I try to stay away, because when I click on certain videos like reactions, then all the Game of Thrones content comes up on my YouTube profile, so I don't want to have that recommended. So I try to stay away from any Game of Thrones videos, because I don't want any related Game of Thrones to be recommended to me. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to point that out there. That was not part of my review, but I just wanted to let you know my enthusiasm and my opinion and perception of each season is going to reflect into the way I make the videos. Because if I don't like as many scenes, I'm not going to include as many scenes. It's obvious, you know? So you're going to notice that. And don't be mad at me, but that I can try to improve. I can try to make it better and try to include even scenes I don't like, but it's gonna take me some time, so I'm going to work on it. It's just that I personally have to like my own videos. If I don't like a scene or anything, I don't usually include it. And like I said, sometimes I don't like scenes, but they do grab my attention. I do have a reaction to it that's pretty strong. In that case, I would include it, but because that's why you guys are watching, right? To see my reaction to things more so than my reviews. But when it comes to something that I dislike and I don't have any reaction to it, I don't tend to include it in the video. So just so you know, season 2 was like this for me. So it was great highlights. I really liked it overall, but in some episodes I really missed the mark, like I said, because it was very chaotic. Compared to season 1, there was a little bit more structure to me. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to give this overview of season 2. I thought it was great. I don't see any of these two seasons. I don't see a bad season. So there's no bad season so far, just a more chaotic one compared to the other. So anyway, guys, let me know what you guys thought of this season so far. I mean, what are your perception of season 2? Is it your favorite season? I know this is a very cliche question, but I would like to know if you if you agree that compared to season 1, it's not really the strongest season. The season 1 is still the strongest so far. I'm expecting great things by season 3, so hopefully it will be equal to season 1 or even better. Many people have said that it's going to be even better, so we shall see. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. I'll see you in the comments. Bye!